Today, we're going to walk through a few RFQs inside of the DIBBS system. A lot of you have asked me to show you the day-to-day process of how we navigate through DIBBS. Specifically, how do we decide which opportunities are actually worth bidding on and which ones just are not worth our time? So in this video, I'll take you step by step through the DIBBS interface. We'll download a solicitation PDF, actually a few, and break them down together. We'll walk through the details just like we normally would here at Mend Sourcing. But I also want to show you the other side of how we work, using a tool that handles most of the heavy lifting for us. And if you're not new to this channel, you have heard me talk about GovScraper before, so we'll dive into that as well. Also, as we go through both methods, keep track of the time and effort each one of them takes. That way, you'll see firsthand which process is more efficient and scalable for you. My goal is that by the end of this video, you'll be able to pick out a few tricks that you can use, learn how we approach the procurement process, and walk away with any insights that can help you bid more effectively, save you time, and ultimately win more government awards. And with that, let's dive right in. Hello everyone, my name is Tristan Thomas with Mend Sourcing, and in today's video, we're just going to walk through the DIBBS system, download a few PDFs, and go through the pertinent information to determine should we bid on this item or should we not. The goal here is to help you understand how quickly we should be going through these RFQs, determining is it actually worth our time or not. But before we do that, if you are new to this channel, please do hit that subscribe button below, as we do put out these videos to help you be better at government contracting. So whether it's your first one that you're trying to win or you've won many more, please do hit that subscribe button below to help you moving forward. And with that, let's dive right in. So what we're going to show right here is the DIBBS system. As many of you are aware, this is the DLA website. DIBBS is what they call it, which stands for the DLA Internet Bid Board System. And what you normally would do here is you would go over to the RFQ section. So we're going to click on the RFQ section and let's just go through a few RFQs. So what we would do then is we're going to choose the federal supply class, and I'm going to type in a few right here. So I'll type in 3120, 5305, 5310. It doesn't really matter what it is. Now, one question that I do get asked a lot is which FSCs are the best? And my answer is always the same. There is no best FSC. It is more dependent upon which vendors you have within those FSCs. So that's why it's super important you're taking the time to build the relationships with vendors. And also, you don't want to get spread out too thin. If you're focusing on 10, 20, 30 different FSCs, how are you really going to build that relationship with those vendors? Limit the amount of FSCs that you're focused. Now, once you put in those FSCs, we're now going to pick any of the set-asides that are here. So we're going to look at small business and we'll look at the service disabled veteran-owned small business. Okay, we'll do HubZone as well too. Why not? All right, and we're going to click on search. When we click on search, it's going to show that for that, there are 675 opportunities that are out there. So from here, I'm going to look at the issue date and I'm going to have it in descending order. So the newest ones are on top. And I do really want to talk about that date first. I'm sure many of you have seen other people that are on YouTube talk about the issue date. I have heard some people say, look, you should be focused on those old ones because those are just prime opportunities because they're sitting there because no one's bid on it. That is absolutely 100% false. Most of the time, what has happened is that it's just slipped through the cracks. Whether the contracting officer has left and didn't close it out, or they just didn't close it out and open up a new one, this happens a lot. So my recommendation to all of you, focus on the new ones first and then start to work your way back. Typically for us, we don't go back further than 60 days. Past 60 days, it falls into what I like to call the contract purgatory. It just sits there. No one's really touching it. And if no one's going to touch it, why are you spinning your wheels trying to procure that item? So looking at the ones right here, I'm just going to see which ones do I want to focus on here. And there's two different ways that I can do this. There's one, I can just click on the solicitation and it's going to download that solicitation. So you see how it downloaded it here. Or what I can do is I can click on the NSN. So typically what I do is I click on that NSN. So let's click on that NSN. So we'll click on this one. And then this is going to pull up right here. Now this right here, the reason why I click on the NSN piece first is because I want to see what's in the PID. So this rectangle that you see right here is called the PID, and it's going to show the approved sources that you can actually get the part from. So in this case, the only company that you can get the part from is SPS Technologies. Now, you can get it from SPS Technologies, who is a manufacturer, or you can get it from a vendor who can supply the item for SPS Technologies. And it's really important that we see that information here because now we know exactly how it has to trace back. It has to trace back to this specific manufacturer. Also, I need to be aware of if SPS is bidding on this item. So if I see their cage code in the procurement history, more than likely they're going to bid on it again. So is it really worth my time, right? Now, can I actually get this item from other manufacturers? The answer is no. It has to actually go through SPS. You can put an alternate bid into the bidding system, but that's for another day. But just your typical regular bid, it has to show traceability to SPS. So that's the first thing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the solicitation. So I'll click on that solicitation, downloads, and let's take a look at this one together. Make it bigger. Now, The methodology of how I go through this is I just skip all of this at the beginning because all I'm wanting to do, the goal here is to determine, do I want to bid on this one and spend the time on it, or do I not want to? So I'll keep scrolling down and I go down to the first section, which is the procurement history. So the procurement history, what I'm looking at here is I'm wanting to see, is the same company winning this consistently, or is there a variety of companies that are winning it? So I'm looking at right here, I see this cage code has won it a few times. This cage code has won it before. And then I see this company right down here that has won it many times before. So it's giving me a little bit of insight into who has won it before, but also it is out actually helping me determine, could I go to other people that are out there that could potentially supply it? So a little insight here is, if I see this company that has won it so many years before, but then they stopped in 2020, maybe I reach out to this company, whoever that company is, and ask if they can supply the part. So just because they're on the procurement history does not mean that they're still bidding on these items. So maybe they just stopped bidding on government contracts, but they may still have access to this part. If I can develop the relationship, maybe they'll give me a quote and I can win this item. But it's giving me a little insight. I don't spend too much time in the procurement history. The procurement history is just giving me just a story about this specific part. Keep scrolling down. I'll see the information. So this is a self-locking nut. Keep scrolling down. And really what I'm getting to is the CLIN. So this CLIN, or the contract line item, is showing that they're asking for 810 pieces each. They're wanting it in 245 days. I see that the deliver FOB is origin, meaning that the government is going to pay from the packaging house to its end destination. I don't pick up the tab on that one. And also, I see that the inspection and acceptance point is origin. This means that the DCMA is going to come inspect the parts prior to shipping it out to its end destination. If this said inspection acceptance point destination, that means I can ship out the items, and on the back end, they're going to check the parts to make sure that they're correct. Also, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing that the packaging data here is QUP001 and pretty simple with ASTM packaging. So keep scrolling down, see if there's any other information. I see also here, there's another CLIN, contract line item number 2 for 168 pieces. All the other information is the same. So the delivery days are the same. The delivery FOB is the same. The inspection points are the same. The packaging is the same. The only difference is when you see multiple CLINs is not the way that the item is being packaged or how many delivery days is needed for this specific item. The only difference here is two things. Number one, the quantity that is going to be shipped out. So as you see right here, we had 810. This one is 168. And then the other thing is the location of where it's being shipped out to. So CLIN 2 is being sent to Robins Air Force Base in Georgia, and CLIN 1 was being sent to Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma. All packaging requirements and everything else is exactly the same. So if I'm going to go to a packaging house and get a quote on how much it would cost to package, I would just tally up both CLINs to determine and ask, hey, how much would it cost to package this item? So that's the information. So looking at this, and I want to be quick about it. Keep scrolling down. Okay, nothing else is really there. I'm now deciding, do I want to bid on this one or not? So this one seems fairly straightforward. I can do it. So yes, this would be categorized as an item that I will source. So I'll extract the information and then send it out to my vendors, whomever they might be, right? So obviously I'm going to reach out to SPS, but maybe there's other vendors that are out there. Maybe I can use the procurement history to determine that. So that's the first one that we got there. Now I'm going to go back and we'll look at the next. All right, so let's look at the next one. Let's look at a bearing. Why not? Let's do that. Something like this, a bearing. So we look at the bearing here that we see. I clicked on the NSN because I just want to see the information. As you can see right here, there are no approved vendors, meaning that if I can find a manufacturer that can make this specific item, it doesn't matter who I go through. So I can go to anyone. So typically here, I would take this part number, I would Google search it, find bearing companies within my area and see if they can actually make this part. That's the way in which I would try to find the item. But before we do that, we do need to look at the solicitation to see if it's actually worth our time. So let's download it, take a look at it, zoom in. Again, just scrolling down, keep going down. And I get to my first contract line item number. So item number 1, we're looking at 111 pieces there. It's EA. Okay, so that's pretty good. I see that the inspection point is origin, meaning, again, it's going to be inspected at our location. The government is paying for the shipment from the packaging house to its end destination. They want it in 180 days. And then I see the packaging is different here. This is not ASTM packaging. This is Mill Standard 2073. Now, I know Mill Standard 2073 does scare a lot of people off, but it really isn't that hard because you can always find a packaging house that can do it for you. So looking at this, and as we are a packaging house, I'm seeing that each part is going to be wrapped. Then it's going to be bubble wrapped in a specific type of bubble wrap, 3/4 of an inch. I can tell that because it's cush done thickness of C. It needs to be placed in a bag and then in another bag, and that's the way to do it. So for 111 pieces, looking at this, it would probably cost about $400 to package this, but nothing that's too hard right there. Keep scrolling down, and there's no other information. Looking at this again, if I can find a manufacturer that can make this part number, and the part number is right here, for that amount, it would be worth my time to find a manufacturer to make it for me and then put a price on it and put in that bid. So this is another one that I would label as I will source it. Now, as we go through this, let's go through another one. Let's go through a screw. So let's look at a fun one right here. This one looks pretty good. So again, all I did was I looked at the NSN, the PID, and as you see right here, there's a cage, there's a part number, but there's no company name. Don't let that fool you. This cage code means something. So I would just do a quick Google search, cage code, and I would see that this is going to be Fontaine Commercial Trailer. So this is the company that I would actually go to for this item. Oh, sorry. All right, go to for this item. So let's click on the solicitation. Okay, going to click on that solicitation. Let me make it big, and we're looking at it right here. So I'm going to be looking down, go here, go through this all, and keep going, keep going. Don't see any procurement history. Okay, there's procurement history. So this item has been purchased a lot. There looks like to be a healthy list of different companies that have won this part before for a large quantity. Each unit cost is relatively low, so I don't know how much there is on this, but I mean, for $1, and there's 124,000 that are here, so maybe it is actually worth my time. Keep going down. Look at here for the screw. Keep going down. All right, now I see the contract line item number. Now, in the contract line item, I see that they're wanting 40,823, right? But one thing that concerns me right off the bat is that it says this is an estimated quantity and may not be purchased by the IDC, meaning that this is called an indefinite quantity contract. And how would you know that? The way that we know that is I see in the CLIN, I see this PR number. If you ever see a PR number that starts with a 100, that means that there's a min-max quantity that they're going to be wanting in this. So that right there is a red flag for me. I'm going to keep scrolling up and I'm going to find out more information. Okay, let's see where it is. And we see the information here. So it's saying right here that the estimated annual quantity is 40,000. The estimated number of deliveries or orders that the government is going to have is 9. This is an estimate only. And then the minimum delivery order quantity is 2,267. That's a lot of information, but because it's an indefinite contract right there, I know that there's a min and a max, that if I win this item, they're not just going to ask for 40,823. What they're going to do is ask for orders that must have a minimum order quantity of 2,267. If I take that 2,267 and the minimum orders, or the estimated is 9, that looks like they're going to do maybe roughly half of the total amount that they're looking for. But it's really hard as a distributor to gauge, how am I going to get this price? Because if I go to buy a manufacturer and ask for 40,823, but then the government only asks for 2,267, obviously the price is going to be completely different. Just economies of scale, right? So unless you're experienced in indefinite quantity contracts, typically this is one that you may want to pass on. But if you're willing to take it, maybe you're bidding on this item still, right? You're trying to just figure out what the price is. That is where the challenge is. How do you price it correctly? Where if they ask for only 2,200 pieces, you're okay. But if they ask for 40,823 pieces, you're still good. There's a lot of unknown that is there. So that's a big worry for me right away. And you can tell if your PR number starts with 100. And keep going down. So with this one, knowing that we've been in business for as long as we have, we probably would try to price this one. There are certain ways, and I'll probably save that for a different video right here. But is it really worth your time? You need to make that decision. If you're just starting out, I would probably pass this because this is an indefinite contract. There's more lower hanging fruit that are out there. So what we've done right there is we've gone over a few RFQs using the DIBBS system, going in, putting in the FSEs, selecting our FSEs, downloading the PDFs, opening up those PDFs and making the decision. As you see, it's relatively fast, but it does take a little bit of time. Typically, that'll take about 5-6 minutes to go through it properly to determine, do we want to bid on it or do we not? But if you multiply that by, say, looking at 20, 30 RFQs a day, that's several hours of painstakingly wasted time just to determine, do I want to bid on this or do I not? So the question, is there a better way? So what I want to do now is show you the tool that we use that will minimize the amount of time that you spend researching to make a quicker decision, which if you could get back more time, you can spend developing those vendor relationships. So what we use is we use a tool called GovScraper. And this GovScraper tool that I'm going to go over right now, what it's doing is it's going to now, based upon my criteria, it's going to take my FSEs, take my set asides, and it's going to download all of the RFQs on a daily basis, extract all of the pertinent information, and put it into my system. So the first thing myself or my team or all the members of GovScraper do is they log into the GovScraper system and they see that there are 5 RFQs, as you see right here, that I can source. So I can click on that, and what it's going to show is all 5 of those new RFQs based upon my criteria. If I have more FSEs, great. There's going to be a longer list. It's all based upon the criteria I set. So there could be several or there could be a few hundred, but all of the important information would be inside of here. So what we do is we click on the first one and we look at the RFQ. Now, remember we went through that PDF and we're scrolling down to determine, do we want to bid on this or not? Instead, I just click on that button and all the important information is here. Everything from the solicitation number, the part number, the type of item it is, who's paying for the shipping. So in this case, the FOB is origin. So the government's paying for that shipment. It shows me the manufacturers. So the two companies that are authorized to provide this part are Allen Aircraft and Rolls-Royce. So right here, and then there's those part numbers right there. Scroll further down and we have the procurement history. I can see all the companies. This looks like there's a healthy mix of companies. Instead of Google searching those cage codes, I can just hover over it. I see the name of the company right there. I can actually even just open up a new tab and I can automatically be taken to their website, as you can see right there. And I can just see exactly who these companies are, right? Gives me a little bit more insight into it. And then if I scroll further down, I see exactly that the government is wanting 101 pieces in 587 days. And I see that the packaging requirements are Mill Standard 2073. Doesn't look too hard. I see all the wrap, the cushioning, and all that. So what I can do now, within 30 seconds, determine, do I want to bid on this one or do I not? And in this case, this is one that I would want to spend some time on. So I would label it up here at the top to where it says will source. The system will automatically save it, and then I can move on to the next. Click on the next one, go through the same thing we just did, looking at all the information. I see all the companies right here. Okay. These are all the procurement history. Pretty nice. A few different companies here. Who won it last time? Okay, Boeing company won it last. Prior to that was Mechatronics. Okay, looking at that. Prior to that, we had this company winning it a lot, which was K-Matics. So gives me a little bit insight into the procurement history. And if I need to, maybe I want to contact K-Matics. Maybe they can supply it to me. Scroll further down, and then I see that there are two CLINs that are here. So 21 and 84. Again, the origin inspection, as you see right there, meaning that the DCMA is going to come to my location, inspect it before I ship it out. And I'm going to now, yes, this is an item that I would want to bid on. So 105 items is what it's going to be. So I'm going to label this again as a will source. So what our team does, and the members of GovScraper, instead of going into DIBBS and downloading a bunch of PDFs, I see all the contracts right here, and I'm changing the contract status from new opportunity to will source. Once I've gone through all of that, let's just do another one right here. Looking at right here, seeing it all. Here's all the manufacturers. Scroll down. These are the companies that won it last. Who's this company right here? Oh, pretty good company right here. Keep scrolling down, and the government is wanting 2,390 pieces. Okay, cool. Yep. Obviously, since we've won this last time, as you saw right there, yeah, this is definitely one that I will be bidding on. Okay. Then once that's all taken care of and we've gone through all of our new opportunities, what we do in our filter section up here is we get rid of the new opportunities, and we now want to just look at the items that we mentioned that we labeled as a will source. So now I have the three that we had just gone over, and now I send out my emails to those companies. I'm going to send it to Allen Aircraft asking for 101 items for part number, what is that? Part number 3547. So this part number that's there. And then once I send it out to Allen Aircraft, just to make sure, I'm going to type it in here so nothing slips through the crack. Allen Aircraft. And then I would press save, send it out, email sent. And then I change the status because everything is based on the status. I'm going to change it to sourcing. So nothing slips through the crack. I can always come back and say, hey, I sent it to Allen Aircraft. They haven't responded. What's going on? And I would do this for all of them. Same thing. Look at this one. Send it to the companies. There's the part number right there. Change this to sourcing. Good. All done. Move on to the next one. So what we're doing is we're chunking each section from looking at it as a new opportunity, moving it to will source, then moving it to currently sourcing. Once we get back pricing, then we're going to put in our bid and move forward with it. So looking at the two right there, you can see the difference between using the typical DIBBS system and using a tool such as GovScraper that is allowing you to be more efficient. And if you're getting back more time, the question is, what are you going to do with that time? Hopefully, the answer is spending it with building those vendor relationships. So today, what we've done is we've gone over just a walkthrough of some RFQs that are out there inside of the DIBBS system. They are the newest ones that are out there. I wasn't sure exactly which ones we were going to pull up, but hopefully was able to give you some insight into exactly our process of looking through RFQs. And again, the first thing that myself and the rest of our team does is we initially want to determine, do we want to bid on this one or not? Find the ones that you want to focus on, spend the effort on, and then get rid of the ones that are just not worth your time. So hopefully this video has given you a little bit of insight into that. Maybe something about the CLINs or how we approach it with the procurement history, whatever it might be. The goal really and the intent of this video is helping you win more government contracts. So hopefully we've done our job. So with that, again, my name is Tristan Thomas with Mend Sourcing. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button below, as we do put out these government contracting videos a few times per month to help you bid better and hopefully win more government contracts. And with that, I want to thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.